Hello guys, and welcome to another ProfileTree video. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how to plan a website structure. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So just before we get started, why exactly is website structure so important? Well, website structure is important because it ensures that your website is easy to navigate and understand for visitors. And bear in mind, if you have a clear structure, it helps users find the information that they need quickly, leading to a positive user experience. Now, additionally, search engines rely on the structure just so they can understand and rank your website's content. So a well-organized structure can improve your visibility in search results. And lastly, a thoughtful structure makes it easier to manage and update your website as it grows. Now that allows for scalability and of course efficient content organization. So for tools, what tools do you really need? Now, when you're jotting down all your ideas, of course, you're building a big massive website, you need to have your foundation, your structure. So it's best to just jot everything down on paper. Now, if you want to use your computer, you can go ahead and use your notepad on your Windows device, or if you have a Apple device, then of course you can use the text edit tool. Now, if you want to be a little bit more complicated, what you can start using is the likes of Photoshop or any sort of UI, UX web development tools that you can use out there. And from there, you can basically structure out a wireframe or even a sitemap just to get you started on your actual build for your website. Now, the UI UX tool that I stand behind is definitely Figma. Now, Figma is a great wireframing tool that you can use to date. Now, you're able to have a general structure or idea on how you want to build your website, what sort of designs are possible to make before actually doing the development stages. And with Figma, you're able to go ahead and jot down your feedback, say what things needs changed, and it's a great sort of collaboration tool to use, especially if you're a developer yourself and you may be speaking to a UI or UX designer, and this is more or less a collaboration work. You can dot to your UI or UX designer what sort of points you want to add in and what things are possible to make. Uh, that's why you have your feedback tool as well, and you're able to get some detailed points on the colors that you're going to be using, what fonts you'll be using, so all your typography as well, and how the layout will be designed for each of the pages. So our next point is our brief. Now we got to make sure that we identify the needs of our website. So the way to do this is to define the actual website's purpose and goals. This is our primary objective for our site. Now, of course, are we here to provide information? Are we here to sell products? Are we here to offer services or even engage users? We need to clearly define what our website's purpose is, and this will guide the structure to fulfill those goals effectively. Once you've got that base foundation sorted, then all you would need to do is then look into the target audience. That's where we need to identify them. We need to determine who our website is targeting. We need to research and analyze our audience characteristics, the preferences, the behaviors. This sort of understanding will help us structure the website in a way that resonates with and meets their needs. Now, if you've got a little bit of time in your hands, what's best to do is to actually conduct a user research. Now, gather feedback from any potential or existing users through surveys, interviews, or usability testing. You got to understand their expectations, what they're looking for on your website, and just point out any things that they encounter from other sort of websites and what could be improved on. Now remember, you're building a website for the visitors. You got to make sure that you are there to improve their experience and of course make them come back again if they need to. Now, as well as having a website, what's more important to actually structure that piece is to analyze content and have your information architecture. Now, it's always best to review the content you have or plan to have on your website. Now, you must determine the different categories or themes within your content. This analysis will just generally help the structuring and navigation and organization of the actual website. So if you do structure your content well, it'll be easier to navigate as a visitor or user to your site. So just to further explain and identify the needs of a website, we've got a wireframe example here. So this is one of our internal brands, which is Luxury Leisure Affluence. Now you can quite clearly see that this is going to be a blog type website with all the read more as well. So we can see that we've structured the website well. So it's all laid out for the user or the visitor. It's not too cluttered. You can't have a cluttered website. Now, it can be a little bit overwhelming to have, but it's great to have a nice modern look to a site. Now, you can see with this one as well that we have considered the visitors, basically adding a search bar, a place for them to actually save any of the articles that they want to read. They can go from light mode to dark mode, so that's just a little preference if you want to have it. And yeah, you can just overall see that it is a well-structured design for a website. Now, in terms of scalability, can I grow this business or can I grow this website? Am I able to ensure that this structure allows for the addition of new pages or sections without disrupting the overall coherence? So you have to take a lot of things into consideration when you are building a website. So just make sure that you identify the needs first for your website. Now, our next part here is to analyze the competition. So, of course, before you build your website, you want to make sure who you're against with. So, we're going to use Adidas here and Nike to go ahead and demonstrate what I'm meaning. So, two competitors, they're very, very big competitors. Now, you can see they've got their navigation bar. Now, that's fairly overwhelming for what it is, and they've got quite a lot to offer, but it is organized and it's easy for me to see. Now, if I take a look at Nike, you can see they have a drop down menu. It blurs out everything else, so I'm only focused on one area. I'm able to have a look at all the stuff that they have. The best read, so that they would have their blog. So this is more or less their blog area. Now they've got their men's section there. Of course, I can read things a lot more easier. I've got my search bar up here as well. Now if I compare that back to Adidas, you can see that everything's a little bit more overwhelming. Now it doesn't stop me from actually seeing what I need to look at, but you can see straight away with Nike that everything is a lot easier to read since everything is all blurred out and it's focusing exactly on the font. So that's one thing that you could be considering, which is the user experience and design. Now, if you pay attention to the factors such as the visual appeal, the readability, the use of white space, consistent branding to create that positive and memorable user experience, they'll always come back to your website. So that's one thing to always consider. Another thing that you would want to consider is the actual SEO. So a website structure that is search engine optimized can help improve the visibility in search engine rankings. So always consider the fact that you have your URLs, so structure them well. So say for the likes of our company, which is ProfileTree, we have profiletree.com/blogs. It's straight away. That's what we're linking to, which is blogs. That's what we're targeting. But then you want to make sure that you come up with very, very good blog name titles in order to get those keywords and attract the ranking and traffic to your website. So if you take a look at Nike, you can see that if you search up Air Force One, more or less what you're going to get is probably the US Air Force and the Nike Air Force Ones, so the shoes themselves. Now, if you search up Air Jordan 1s, the more or less what you're going to get is Air Jordan 1s. So if I go ahead and test that theory now, so I'll go ahead and open a new tab here and search up Air Jordan 1. I'm more or less going to get the actual player himself, or as you could see, more or less what I'm getting here is Air Jordan 1. So if I check images as well, it's going to be all Air Jordan 1. It's because that they have their keywords, which is Air Jordan 1. So that's what they're getting, and this is going to be the most searched result. Now, of course, the same applies with even if you are a smaller company, especially if you're going against other competitors with the same keywords. But if you take it from the likes of us, so we're ProfileTree, you can see that our branding is all over. So it's pretty much just trying to get those headlines and always trying to take in those keywords in order to be ranking the top when you're being searched on the actual search engines. Now, another factor I would consider is the actual mobile responsiveness. Now, with the increasing use of mobile devices, having a responsive website structure is very, very crucial. Now, if I wanted to use this on mobile, so it works perfectly fine. I'll show it up on screen now. You can see that it's very responsive, works perfectly great. Everything's been adjusted and moved. Now, for the likes of it not being optimized or responsive to the mobile users, it's going to completely put everyone off. So you always have to ensure that your website is adapted to the mobile device, make sure it's seamless, and that it's seamless towards different screen sizes. So not just the phone, but to the iPad itself, or even if I decrease the size of the browser. Now, in doing so, that'll always give you that competitive edge over websites that are not mobile friendly. But there you have it, guys. That is pretty much how to plan a website structure. Now, there is quite a lot of consideration. As I've said before, you're thinking about the user-friendly navigation, your mobile responsiveness, you've got your speed and performance, information architecture, SEO considerations. You just have to have that user experience design, your content strategy, and as well as that, just plan the overall tools, your competition, what the website needs is, so that you can have a very, very successful online marketing or online website to showcase for any visitors or users. If you guys found this video informative or if you found it helpful, please do leave a comment in the comment section below. But other than that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.